my life choices, including whether it's illegal to push someone gently out of their seat at cruising altitude. That's when the flight attendant comes by for the snack cart. AITAH for starting a seat war on a FIFO flight because I wanted the window. So 131M, country bloke from the wheat belt, was heading home to Perth after a full 3-week swing out at a site somewhere deep in the Pilbara. Won't name the exact site, but let's just say the air smells like diesel. The gym is held together by duct tape. And the highlight of our week is when Sharon restocks the chalky milk in the vending machine. 3 weeks of flying fly-out living. You know the drill. Wake up, shovel rocks, sweat through your high wheeze. Try not to die, sleep, repeat, anyway. It was finally R&R time. I had my boarding pass in hand, my boots half and done, and a duffel bag that looked like it had been in a war. All I wanted, all I needed was my window seat. 11F. My throne of peace. I'd picked that seat online a week ago during night shift when I was bored and overly optimistic about the future. Now if you've never boarded one of these FIFO flights out of the Pilbara, picture this: 50 blokes in dirty high wheels, crammed into a tin shed pretending to be an airport. One coffee machine with a sticker that says, "Do not press anything except start." A bloke named Kev selling bootleg sausage rolls from an Aussie. So, I line up, get my bag tag, and board the plane. It's one of those dinky little regional jets where the door squeaks ominously and the cockpit looks like it was assembled on Gumtree. I get to row 11, and there he is, Dazza, the intruder, now me, and Dazza have a history. He once reported me for using his milk in the donga fridge, even though it was communal, and labeled D. He's the kind of bloke who wears wraparound sunnies indoors and calls himself a bit of a larrikin, which is Aussie for pain. In the R's, he's in my window seat. 11F, feet up. Headphones in, looking smug like he owns the mine and the plane. I clear my throat, he doesn't move. I say, "Tay mate, I think that's my seat." He glances up. Oh, didn't think it mattered. There's plenty of seats. Classic Dazza logic. I show him my boarding pass. He shrugs. Says he gets airsick unless he's got a view. Okay. Now, I'm not a monster. I've seen airsick blokes. It ain't pretty. But I've also seen Dazza down for curry pies and a Red Bull before a 45-minute flight. The man's got an iron gut. Still, I say, no worries. I'll sit in the aisle because I'm mature. I'm the bigger person for now. The descent into chaos, we take off. Everyone's half asleep, sweating through their polos. Dazza pulls out his iPad to watch Fast and Furious 9 with no headphones. Full volume. Engine noises, Vin Diesel growling, explosions, the works. At this point, I'm breathing deeply and imagining I'm already home, lying on the couch, watching footy with a cold beer and my dog sprawled across my feet. And then it happens. Dazza starts eating jerky. Now, jerky's fine. I love jerky, but not fish jerky. Not in a pressurized cabin. Not when you're seated next to someone who just wanted to look out at the dusty red nothingness of Wah one last time before. Perth slaps you in the face with suburbia. The smell hit me like a shovel to the soul. I turned my head, mouth covered, and whispered, "Mate, what the hell is that?" He smiles. Found it in a servo in Tom Price. Bit old. Adds to the flavor. Adds to the trauma. Dazza. My breaking point about halfway through the flight. He leans across me, over me, to adjust the overhead air nozzle. I say, if you wanted full control of the airflow and a tray table, you should have picked the... I'll mate. He chuckles like he's on a bloody sitcom. Then, and I swear on my steel caps, arm against mine. Head tilted sideways. Breathing jerky fumes straight into my soul. I sat there for a good 20 minutes contemplating my life choices, including whether it's illegal to push someone gently out of their seat at cruising altitude. That's when the flight attendant comes by for the snack cart. I flag her down and ask, politely, there's any chance I could move to another row. She gives me a sympathetic look and says, the flight's full. I say, what about the cockpit? She doesn't laugh. The petty revenge here's where I might have crossed the line with about 20 minutes left. I sneakily adjusted the reading light above Dazza's seat and angled it directly at his face. He twitched, but didn't wait. So I turned on my fan full blast and let it hit the open jerky bag still resting on his tray. The scent began wafting across the cabin like some kind of evil air freshener. I saw a bloke 2 rows ahead shift. Uncomfortably, a woman coughed. The flight attendant looked concerned. Dazza stirred, looked confused, sniffed the air, and muttered, smells a bit like old Barra. I just nodded solemnly. That's the sky telling you to stop stealing seats. Landing. In Perth and my conscience, we land. I grab my bag. Dazza stretches, yawns, and says, cheers for the seat, mate. Real lifesaver. I don't say anything, I just walk. Straight out the terminal. Straight into the clean, blessed air of Perth Airport. Later, I tell the story to my housemate, and she says, you let him win, though. I frown. What do you? Mean, he got the seat. Yeah, but I got the story, so AITAH. For wanting the window seat I picked. Surely not. For not standing my ground harder. Maybe. For letting Dazza sleep in his stolen seat, only to make him a walking jerky diffuser to the entire plane. ... Possibly. But when you've been out in the dirt for 21 days straight, fed on lukewarm spagball and the promise of civilization, you get a little odd, a little feral. And to the FIFO crowd reading this on your own swing home, squished into 17B next to a bloke using your shoulder as a pillow, just know, I see you. You are not alone. The war for the window seat continues.